broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. This is the Amazing Race After Show for Season 26, Episodes 7 and 8. Back in business and moment of truth. We are going to try to cram in 2 hours worth of the Amazing Race into our show today. Across the table from me is the wonderful and beautiful...
Hey guys, I'm Jessica Carroll. And unfortunately today, our third co-host couldn't make it. Justin is actually in the Caribbean right now with fellow Amazing Racers.
Lucky duck. I mean, we all really wanted to go to Jason and Amy's wedding this weekend, but alas, we are here. Justin's there, and he sent us all a little treat from the Dominican. Here's a little look at what he's up to.
This is why we're running a little bit late, so it's a special surprise for all of you guys, but it's so worth it.
So worth it.
What is up, AfterBuzz TV? We are all the way down here in the beautiful Dominican Republic. As you can see behind me, we are right here on the beach, all about Jason and Amy's wedding. But of course, the Amazing Race is here. Even the flight attendants from last season, you love them, you know them, they're here at the wedding as well. Tonight's the rehearsal dinner, but tomorrow is the big, big day. So keep tuning in, and thanks for watching AfterBuzz. I'll be back in the studio next week. I miss you guys. Bye!
That was so awesome.
So cute. Justin, we miss you.
Justin, that was so sweet of you. We miss you so much. Give Amy and Jason a huge, huge, huge hug from us.
Don't have too much fun without us.
Yeah.
Really. All right, you guys, so let's just dive right into episodes 7 and 8. Starting off this episode of 7, we have the teams in first, Haley and Blair, Allie and Steve, Mike and Rochelle, Matt and Ashley, Jelani and Jenny, and Laura and Tyler in last place. They get the route info to fly to Windhoek, Namibia, the home of the oldest desert in the world, which I thought was super cool,
so cool.
And very fascinating.
Yes.
When they arrive, they will then sign up for one of 6 bush planes, which automatically I was like, okay, this is an equalizer leg. All the teams are going to be on the same flight to Namibia. Once they land, actually, let's talk about the date night before they get to Namibia.
Okay.
With Tyler and Laura. Tyler said, we're getting along better than most of the other teams. We have mutual respect for one another, and we're genuinely having fun. What do you think? Is there something going on between the two of them?
I don't know. They play it so like nonchalant, like they're just, in the race. They're taking time off. They have fun together. They're friends. But I don't know if there's actually chemistry. I think that they do get along. They're both great looking people. They would be a super cute couple. Based on what we see, I don't know. There's no sparks flying for me between the two of them.
Interesting. I mean, I think I see what you're saying, and they did make it very clear in a few of the episodes prior to Friday nights. It's that they're enjoying the race together, but there's not really much time to focus on the romance of a relationship. And sometimes the strongest and the best relationships form out of strong friendships before it turns into something romantic. So hopefully they don't fall into the friend zone before they actually give it a chance. Because I do think that there's a lot of potential between the two of them.
Yeah. And considering they've had now 2 date nights, they've won 2 date nights already.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just not seeing the whole thing, and maybe there's more going on behind it. But the show in general, it's not a very lovey-dovey show. It's not a very romantic show. I mean, even the couples that have been together for a long time, they're not all goo-goo gaga, baby, sweetie poo-poo, So it's just not that kind of show. Right. So they're focused. If they do end up dating afterwards, you got my approval.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, because I believe in the two of them.
Yes.
It looks like Arrow Man in the live chat is also agreeing with you, Jess, that he doesn't see much sparks between Laura and Tyler, so you're not the only one. So once teams landed in Namibia, they had to sign up for one of 6 bush planes. The first team to get a plane is Allie and Steve, then Jelani and Jenny, Matt and Ashley, Laura and Tyler, Mike and Rochelle, and then Haley and Blair are the last team to get a bush plane, which is funny because they left the mat first, and now they're getting a plane last.
Back of the bus.
Which we saw a little bit of a disagreement between the two of them.
We did. And we see that often, too, is people who normally start at the front of the bus somehow end up at the back quite fast, too. And so we saw that with Haley and Blair.
I wonder if something happened in customs. Oh, wait. They made it very clear. Blair had to sit comfortably on the plane.
Right.
When Haley suggested they should have sat a little bit towards the front, but in middle seats.
Yes, they did.
I'm willing to sacrifice my comfort to be ahead of the pack.
Oh, for sure. Hands down. Yeah.
So, Blair, you really should have listened to Haley on that one.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Before teams really started this leg, we heard Allie say we can do better as a team on our transportation efforts, which to me was foreshadowing. You can catch a little bit of the editors setting up for the story because we saw in the preview for this episode the week before that they were going to have tire issues, and lo and behold, this was just setting up the tire issue drama.
Big tire issues.
And then Tyler pointed out that there are 3 blind date teams and 3 couples left, which I totally over my head. I totally forgot.
I didn't even notice that.
Half and half, right? So thanks, Tyler, for pointing out to us. So another thing I thought was funny was Blair and Haley, when they were at the airport, they were obviously talking about getting on the last bush plane. And Blair's like, once Haley laid eyes on Hagen, the handsome bush pilot, she was all better again. That whole little segment was hysterical to me.
So funny. She was all about that pilot.
She was all about. What did you think? Was he cute? He's attractive.
Attractive. I mean, I wouldn't
get goo goo gaga over him.
No, definitely not goo goo gaga over it.
I think I'd be more goo goo gaga over Blair.
Yes, definitely.
So once they get onto the bush plane, they travel over the oldest desert in the world, which is awesome. We get to see a lot of the aerial shots of the ground below. And the planes looked super tiny. I don't know how would you have felt in those little planes? Have you ever been in one?
I've traveled in those small planes before, and luckily I don't get claustrophobic or anything. And I have this really a big trust in planes. I think actually flying is one of the safest ways to travel. So I don't really get scared. I think they're safe. So that wouldn't be an issue for me. What about you?
I would have been a little nervous just because I'm such a big guy. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
So to be crammed in the back seat of a bush plane would be a little intimidating, but it would have been beautiful. I think I would have been so distracted by the scenery that I probably would. It would have been a second thought to me.
It was gorgeous. It makes me want to visit.
Right? And who would have ever thought of Namibia? If you think of like visiting Africa, usually people think of, okay, South Africa.
Right.
There's Kenya, Tanzania, Morocco.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just Namibia. It was cool to see a country like Namibia on The Amazing Race.
Yes, I loved it.
In the live chat right now, just catching up with everyone, Arrowman is complimenting you on your dress, Jess. Nice colors.
Thank
He sees a theme. I guess it kind of goes with the Namibian flair.
A little African
I
print.
love it. And then Joseph Boza was also on Haley's side for this one because comfort is secondary on the race.
Oh.
I agree with you on that one. Ellis Tedder goes, James, you can't have James, you have somebody, you can't have Blair.
Oh, yeah, James.
Oh gosh, too funny. Okay, so once teams land in the bush, I guess you can say, of Namibia, they got their clue where they were told to drive themselves to the Bushman village and pick up a salt lick. Which, whatever.
I had no idea what a salt lick was, but I just thought it had to do with salt.
It made me think of cubes, like salt cubes that people put out in their backyard or like out in a field for a deer to come lick.
Right.
Or like a horse.
Yeah.
So it was just, whatever.
Salt lick, okay.
Salt lick. Once teams got to the Bushman's village, they were given their roadblock clue. The thing was, who's feeling grassy? The clue or the task at hand was they had to help the Bushmen build a grass hut to earn their next clue. They must follow their instructions and method and be as helpful as possible in the process. The team members that had to do the roadblock were Allie, Jelani, Matt, Tyler, Rochelle, and Blair. What were your thoughts on the roadblock?
first of all, I loved seeing the tribe and what they were wearing and how they were dancing, and I just loved that whole. If I had to do this challenge, I would have been up there dancing, grooving with those guys in their little diaper-looking outfits. It was hilarious. I just love to see the culture. That's like one of the main things I love about the show is diving into the culture. So I actually really liked this, and I always go down to Mexico and build homes for homeless families. So I really enjoy building. Strange, I know, but I do.
You would have killed it.
So I would have really enjoyed this challenge. But you know what I was really shocked about this challenge?
What?
Was that for the first time, we really saw complaining from Allie.
That's one thing I put in my notes too, is this is the first time we saw Allie kind of crumble a little bit.
Yeah. Haley kind of took it down a notch this episode, but Allie stepped it up, and I was like, whoa, girl, did not see the side of you. Like, you chose to do it. Don't be blaming, your partner that he didn't step up and build, and you have to do it. So stop saying that you're a horrible builder. Just put your head down and start doing it. So I was super surprised. I was like, whoa, where did this come from?
She seemed to be a very upbeat member of the show this entire season so far, that when she started complaining and getting just frustrated with the task and exerting more energy into the complaining aspect, it was just like, what? This is a different side of Allie than we're used to.
And she kind of put herself down. She's like, I can't dig. I can't build. I'm not the right person for this. And I was like, whoa. Is this Allie or is this Haley? Like, what? What's going on?
Everyone in the live chat, definitely comment. Let us know what you thought of Allie freaking out or getting frustrated a little bit on this episode. Because, like we said, it's just something completely different, out of character for Allie.
Yeah.
I loved this roadblock. Just same thing as you, Jess. It had to do with more of the culture. One of the things that really draws me to Africa is just, it's like the motherland, as we always hear. And that's where civilization just kind of happened, and life, just there's so much life there. And so for me, that's why I want to go to Africa. So just to see the Namibian people in their natural environment and just living the life that they do, and bringing these teams and welcoming them and showing them their culture is something that I love about this show.
Well, it's really surprising that there still are tribes out there. There's still people living in grass huts. Like, people are actually still doing this stuff, and that's just so amazing. And just like you said, I've always wanted to visit Africa, and this just gave me it was like a teaser.
Right? Yeah, put the African bug in me.
Right?
We have Steven Sosa in the live chat saying that Allie was annoying during this roadblock.
Yeah.
Carol Ann Peck said, I could not agree more, Jess. Allie was so different in this episode. Let's see. I think then Shark Pen. She was very nagging in this challenge. So, it seems like it's a general consensus across the board in the live chat right now that Allie just didn't seem all there in the head during this
I don't know
roadblock.
what's going on.
No one else seemed to really struggle. Tyler definitely powered through the roadblock and kicked some serious butt. They were one of the first teams to leave after not getting there first. So power to Laura and Tyler kicking some butt. Once the teams completed the roadblock, their next route info instructed them to drive to the ranger headquarters to receive their next clue. Once the teams arrived, they were given their detour clue, where they had to choose between track or pack. This is when we find out when, Phil does his little B-roll where he's talking about, and this detour, he said that this is the second least dense country on Earth, which I thought was really cool. More facts out in a minute.
Right.
Thanks to Amazing Race for the geography lesson.
They have all that open space, all that open desert.
Joseph Boza said Namibia gets really hot in the summer. It can be 90, maybe 100, and that is not the heat index. Thanks for the little facts, Joseph Boza.
You learn something new every day, so thanks, guys.
Jitendra Kalani also says Tyler nailed that roadblock.
Yes, for sure.
For sure. So the detour is track versus pack. Track, they had to use telemetric technology devices to track down an elephant. When they found one, they'd receive their next clue. For the pack part of this detour, teams have to work with butchers to cut slices of wildebeest meat until the bucket was full. Once it was full, they then had to feed the pack of wild dogs, aka hyenas, and then they would receive their next clue. But the rule was no bones. There could be no bones. It was all meat. What did you think of the detour, and which task would you have chosen, Jess?
I would have much rather done the track. I've always wanted to go on a safari, and I love elephants. I've ridden a few elephants. I just think they're so fascinating. And raw meat and me do not get along. I would have been so disgusted. But if I did end up doing pack, I would have cut that meat, just tuckered through it. But you know what? Actually, I found it kind of fun, like throwing the meat and seeing the dogs like just attack that meat. I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of wish I could experience something like that, but I don't know. I kind of like if I do visit Africa, I kind of want to try both. Like I want to experience them both.
Why not?
But I would have probably done the track.
Okay, all right.
What about you?
Well, I'm proposing the question inside the live chat right now. You guys go ahead and put down in your comments, track or pack. I would love to know what the majority would have done. In this case, I think I would have done track just because I love elephants.
Yeah.
And to be able to track one down and see it in its natural environment would have been such a, like, I don't know what kind of experience. I would just be very spiritual in a way.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just love elephants.
Right.
That would be the reason why I would choose it. And the raw meat thing would kind of weird me out a little bit. And whatever. Wild dogs.
Yeah. And Rochelle ended up doing the pack, and she's a vegetarian. So the whole time I was just going through my head like, oh man, I eat meat and raw meat grosses me out. Could you imagine being a vegetarian and having to cut all that meat? But she went through it and she was throwing that stuff. This girl, she doesn't take no for an answer.
It surprises me that there's been a lot of vegetarians it doesn't surprise me because obviously when you cast a reality show, you want a wide spectrum of contestants, but the amount of vegetarians there have been in seasons past, especially one moment that comes to mind is Nat and Kat that ended up winning, I think it was season 17, and one of the tasks they had to do, which I believe was a fast forward, is they had to eat meat. And one of them was a vegetarian for like 6-7 years, and so she forced herself to eat the meat and break her vegetarian code and ended up winning at the end of the day $1 million. But it's
things you do for Amazing
right?
Race.
So it looks like, just going through the live chat right now, pretty much the majority of what people are saying is pack. I think the only one that would have done track that's with me on that one is Scarpen. And Addie Geis. Because they saw more wild animals, not just wild dogs, which is true. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but in the preview the week before for this episode that we are talking about right now, it looked like they showed a clip of a lion attacking the food, and so I think I was confused when I didn't see any lions this episode. Maybe it was just like stock footage that they have from a previous season, but I was under the impression that I'd see a lion this episode. But
I didn't pay that close of attention.
But I loved
Jelani's remark when she was all done feeding the dogs. She's like, I just want to smother this blood all over my face.
Gross,
I'm not going to do it, though. And I was like, first of all, why do you even think of that? Gross. And second of all, thank God you didn't do that. That's nasty. So, but like Jenny saying that, just the two didn't really work together, but I thought that was really funny. I wrote that down.
To Jenny. Oh, Jenny.
Yeah.
In the chat right now, I think it's hysterical. JKI or JKL was disappointed that there were no selfies taken by the teams with the elephant that they found, which
right.
I would have seized the opportunity for a selfie with that elephant.
I would have all been all about that.
Saul Perez, Rochelle does watch our after show. She's a big fan of the Amazing Race after show, and she, just so you know, Rochelle, if you're watching, Saul Perez, one of our viewers who's been loyal to our after show, has a huge crush on you. Just wanted to let you know that. So once the teams were done with the detour, it seemed like half and half did the detours. Laura and Tyler, Matt and Ashley, Jelani and Jenny, and Mike and Rochelle did the pack, whereas track was Steve and Allie, Haley and Blair. We saw a little bit more of the arguing from Allie. She just seemed very argumentative with Steve. Wasn't really pleased with the task at hand again. But once everyone kind of completed the tasks, we start to see conversation between Jelani and Jenny about the Express Pass, which one of our viewers had brought up last week in the conversation is what happened. So
because they had the Express Pass. Do they have to use it this leg?
I think they had to do it by a certain point. Again, someone in the chat, if you know, I think it was by the final 5. So they might have to use it next episode.
Right. Okay. And then the other thing, going back to the track, is I was surprised that some of them would just hold the, what was it, like the radar?
Oh, yeah, the telemetric thing.
Yeah, they would just hold it. Whereas if I were you, I would be panning back and forth. You know, and some people did pan back and forth, but I felt like Allie was just kind of holding it in one spot. So, but who knows? It would have been kind of cool.
It would have been cool. And can you imagine just tracking down an elephant?
How cool is that? So neat.
So after the detour, all the teams had to travel to the pit stop. Once again, drama with Steve and Allie because they get a busted tire. After again and again, Allie was saying, Steve, you're driving too close to the left side of the road. You're driving too close. Boom, boom.
Which, okay.
Tire.
There's clearly no one around. I mean, why wouldn't you drive in the middle of the street, first of all? And second of all, I wonder because in Africa, you're driving in the opposite side of the car. So I was wondering if maybe that had to do with something, but he was just like all over the place. Like, drive in the middle of the street, there's no one around.
Yeah.
I would have been pissed too if I was Allie.
It's like take advantage of the open road.
Right.
Because you can see for miles ahead of you. You know if someone's coming or not. It looks like Arrowman is clarifying, but don't quote him, that they have to use it by the 9th leg. So, yeah, that would probably make sense. Final 5.
Right.
I'm trying to just catch up here. I love the conversation in this live chat right now. Okay, cool. So, the pit stop. Haley and Blair just drive right on by.
Yeah.
They see Allie and Steve. What would you do in that situation? If you saw a team, I would drive by too.
Drive by. I would not stop. I'd be like, suckers, I'm speeding by ya.
We're halfway through.
Bye.
Hashtag bye, final 6. So the pit stop rankings are first, Matt and Ashley, second, Laura and Tyler, which I loved because they were both neck and neck, and it seemed like they took 2 different routes. They could see Phil and the Namibian man.
But before we do that, okay, Matt and Ashley are driving their car.
Right.
And then Laura and Tyler are following them, and they said, okay, let's just stop. Let's look at the map so we know exactly where to go, because clearly this is going to be like a neck-to-neck foot run. So Laura and Tyler stopped, look at the map. Matt and Ashley are like, why did they stop? Oh my gosh, we missed something. Let's go back, reverse. So I literally was like cracking up. I was like, what is going on? Why are they stopping? Keep going. Like, you guys could get so far ahead right now. And that just shows that you have to have confidence in yourself and just keep going. Stick to your gut, you know?
Yeah, if you make a decision, there's no time to second guess yourself. You just gotta go with it.
And then the other thing I wrote down is Jelani's headband. Oh my God. I was cracking up. He had this pink headband on, and it was so tied, like, oh my God, it was hilarious. I couldn't take him seriously because of his headband, his bandana he was wearing, which they all wear bandanas.
Were they Team Pink at the beginning of the race? Because when I saw the pink bandana, I was like,
I know. I was like, what? Okay, but whatever. And then once again, Truck Stop Love had car issues. Poor Mike, he's using the wrong key. And then Rochelle's like, let me help you, sweetie. And just, buddy, wrong key. So I think it's funny that they work with cars all the time, and they're having a little bit of car issues every once in a while.
Oh, Mike and Rochelle. Third place, Haley and Blair. Fourth place, Jelani and Jenny. Fifth place, Mike and Rochelle. Phew, thank God, I was worried about them for a second there. But in last place, Allie and Steve, which we also talked about it being a non-elimination. And ta-da, it was a non-elimination leg.
Yeah.
Before we move on to episode 9, Moment of Truth, I just want to remind everyone out there to give this video, I know there's 25 of you watching live right now. If you are in that live chat, give this video a thumbs up. Copy and paste the link in your browser and tweet it.
Yeah.
Tweet it to the whole world. Why are they missing out on this greatness that is the Amazing Race Aftershow?
Yes.
Then head over to iTunes, give us 5 stars, comment, and subscribe to AfterBuzz TV. It's that simple.
Awesome.
All right. Episode 9, Moment of Truth. We're doing great, Jess. We're doing great.
Yes, we are.
2 episodes. Here we go. And first, Matt and Ashley leaving the mat at 6:47 a.m. And then I'll just jump to the last place of Allie and Steve leaving at 8:12 a.m. So it's about like an hour and 15-minute difference.
And Allie and Steve pointed out that they are the only team that has never got first place.
When I heard that, I wrote down, okay, foreshadowing. I was like, Laura and Tyler are going to get first this episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? That was kind of shocker.
And then we also have the hairstylists that want to work together with Laura and Tyler just so they can have an advantage of getting to the U-turn quicker than their nemesis, Matt and Ashley.
Yep.
We see the legal team talking about how they have the express pass and that they know that they will be targeted by teams.
Right.
Then we have Sokchi Love. They are optimistic even though they're in last place.
Yep.
Bless their hearts. So the route info.
And they have a speed bump.
And there's a speed bump this leg. The route info tells that teams are driven to a town called Swakopmund and upon arrival had to find Swakopmunder Bachwanblung.
Oh. That was good.
Thank you. I try. Once there, they have to find the newspaper stand and search for their next clue. The clue was in German, so they had to translate it to obviously English, but they were also given a warning that there was a U-turn
ahead.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun.
What did you think of the U-turn clue? Would you have been nervous?
Whoever said, let's go to the hotel to get it translated, I thought that was smart. And then once a lot of the teams kind of bunched up, they all pretty much asked the same person, and that poor person just became mistranslator for the show. And so I thought that was kind of cool that they had to translate it in German, but it's kind of like, okay, doesn't really add much value to us because we don't understand German, so yeah.
This live chat, you guys are cracking me up. Where did I just lost the comment? Someone just said, did anyone else get a Tupac vibe from Jelani with this headband?
Yes, I'm telling
Taylor
you,
Smith said that.
I could not keep a straight face. I was cracking up every time he was on camera. Poor guy, he needed. Come on, Jenny's a blogger. She should have helped him out a little bit.
Thank you, Arrowman and Saul Perez. They liked our videos and have tweeted the links. We love you. As AfterBuzz is also chatting live with us. Oh, and Shark Pen and Love We Do, aka Taylor Smith. Oh, love you, we do, Taylor. We do love you. This is true.
And you're right. Matt and Ashley did think that they were going to Germany.
Yeah, right.
We're going to Germany.
All right. Okay. I'm caught up on the live chat. You guys are great. You're keeping us on our toes here.
It's awesome.
Teams, I get the roadblock. It said, who has always wanted a skybox? Once they translate the clue that they're going to a skydiving place in the desert, everyone thought that they were going to go skydiving.
So did
I assumed the same thing.
I got so excited because I love skydiving, and I was so excited to see some of their faces jumping.
Yeah.
And I was excited, and then I was very disappointed.
I was disappointed too because they need more of these action stunts, which reminds me last season when we had Dennis and Isabel in about how the one thing that they wish the race had more of were the adrenaline action packed, jumping out of planes, scaling buildings, zip lining, which we've seen some of that stuff, but it's not as what it used to be.
I know. I wonder why,
past.
because honestly, those are the most fun challenges to watch for us as well as viewers.
Right.
So I wonder why. Maybe it's a safety thing or price. Who knows?
Budget.
Yeah.
So the clue ultimately was that one team member had to watch a briefcase being dropped out from an airplane and then walk by foot to locate it in an area that is nearly a mile wide.
Yeah.
Once the team member located it, they then had to get it, walk up to the Travelocity gnome, and bring them all back to reunite with their teammates, and then they would receive their next clue.
Yes.
Laura, thinking it's going to be skydiving, was like, I'll do it. Jumped right in there. I think Ashley kind of felt the same way.
So did Haley.
Boy, were they fooled. All three of those ladies.
Yep.
Fooled. They had to run to find that skybox. What did you think of the roadblock on this episode?
Honestly, I was so excited for the whole skydiving aspect that I was like, oh man, this is boring. Okay, dropping a freaking briefcase, running towards it. I felt bad for those girls. Not only were they running, but they were running in sand, which if any of you guys have done that, it's a killer workout. Mm-hmm. And you know who I felt the most sorry for? Poor Mike. He looked like he was going to upchuck. That poor guy. I just felt really bad. But they did end up getting the briefcase, and then when they ran back, and they picked up their gnome, goofy little guy, and then that was about it. So it was whatever.
Whatever.
Steve, on the other hand, struggled big time. The box was here, which I was kind of confused. I mean, you're watching it drop. How did he run in such a wrong direction? But he had struggles. He's really struggled trying to find that box.
Their head just wasn't in it the last two episodes, it seems like. What happened at the pit stop that we don't... Maybe they fought?
Maybe.
Who knows? The other members that did this roadblock were Mike and Jelani. Jelani was fast.
Yeah.
He was running out of the gates. No one could stop him.
Little track star.
So that pretty much covers
And then once
roadblock.
again, Rochelle mentioned that she was so proud of Mike, and she really does think that after the race, it's a great time for Mike to meet her son.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's the ultimate compliment you can get. And so I just love them too. They're so supportive. And I think that is a couple that's going to go.
I just thought of something that would be really cool.
What?
Okay, let's say that Mike and Rochelle get to the top 3, which this is like by the skin of their teeth that they do, because they are like a cat with 9 lives. They've been in this. They're kind of like Allie and Ashley, where you're like, oh, they're gonna go home, and then they don't, and you're like, okay, they're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
Let's say they're in the top 3.
Okay.
And they're running to that pit stop, and then they bring out Rochelle's son.
Oh my gosh!
Would that not be brilliant TV?
Actually, you just gave me shivers.
Me too. The hair on my arms are sticking up.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
As a fan and a lover of Truck Stop Love, that would be a beautiful moment.
Producers,
everyone in the
idea
chat,
for you.
what do you think? Everyone in the chat, what do you think about this?
What do you guys think?
All right, I think
we've had a wedding. Now we could have a son, boyfriend meeting.
Reuniting. Oh, I love it. Once the teams completed their roadblock, they got their route marker that said to drive themselves to Snake Bend Pond for their next clue.
But before that, they had Allie and Steve had the speed bump.
Yes.
Which, okay, this reminded me where they had to make a plane out of recycled soda cans. I just don't understand these speed bumps because it's so boring to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like recycled, being like whatever, eco-friendly. But it kind of reminded me of the, who was the one with the paper mache?
Oh, good. I don't want to say Bergen and Kurt.
Yeah, Bergen and Kurt.
Was it?
Yeah, they had to do like these like paper origami or something.
No, it was Harley and Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Harley and Jonathan. It reminded me of that one. It was kind of like, okay, we can't really get interested in this. You guys are just making these things. So it was kind of boring. For me, it was like, okay, check the box. Keep going.
And you think, and this is our criticism, about the speed bump in general, is that if you got last, you are given another life to be in the race. They should have to do something so challenging and prove
that they still
have it to stay in the game. That would just make the most sense to me.
Right.
Love that idea, James. Well, thanks, Taylor Smith. Producers need to have air conditioning in the viewing room when that happens for James and Jess. What?
Huh?
What? Did we say something about... What? Joseph Boza, can you remind us of what we just said? Because now I'm confused.
Yeah, now I'm confused.
Joseph Boza said producers need to have air conditioning in the viewing room.
Well, let me just tell you right now, the air conditioning is not lacking. It is very chilly in this room.
It feels very, very nice in here. Once the teams are completed with their speed bump and the roadblock, they got their next clue at the Snake Bend Pond for their detour, which was work or play. In work, teams had to help locals drag 5 tires and attach them to a marked vehicle to smooth out 5 miles of a dirt road. In play, teams had to cross-country sand ski through a series of sand dunes, then slide down on a sandboard. And once they completed that, Henrique May, who is a professional sandboarder in the area, would hand them their next clue. Which detour would you have done?
So if I was being selfish and just wanted to have fun on the race, I would have done play. I love skiing, I love snowboarding, and I have never been sand skiing, and that looked amazing with a capital A. Oh my gosh, I want to try that. But based on the race and kind of thinking like, okay, what would be the most kind of straightforward, get the job done, I probably would have chosen the work, actually.
Yeah.
But secretly, I would have been wanting to do the play. What about you?
I would have done work only because play, I feel, is such a physical task that if you've never been sandboarding, why try now? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you can know how to drive a car and you're just going to have to drive 5 miles with tires attached to your truck.
Right, it's easy.
It just seems like the better option at that time. Everyone in the live chat, tell us now, would you have done work or would you have done play? I think we are on the same page that work would have been the detour. Did any of the teams stick out to you during this detour?
Not really. Jelani and Jenny, clearly they just used their express pass right away. They chose play, handed over their express pass, and then carried on.
Yes.
So their express pass is now gone. But yeah, I mean, the rest, good thing, I must say though, good thing there was like Blair and Tyler and Mike. Although Rochelle carried her own, because those tires were huge. Like, if it was 2 girls, me, baby girl, I'd be like, kind of screwed, you know? So, although, I got guns there.
You could have probably gotten some locals to help you. Yeah, turn up that charm, Jess. You got it.
I got it. But the sand skiing it actually looked really challenging, but Matt and Ashley, you know, they had some difficulties. Allie and Steve, they just went right through it, conquered that.
In the live chat, it seems like we're pretty even across the board between play and work. One of my favorite comments was from Arrowman. With work, you get the air conditioning in the truck.
Very true. Very true. Especially
so
after running all those miles to get the briefcase. I bet you that air conditioning felt really good.
Real good. And then to go back to what we were talking about for clarification with Joseph Boza saying that we would need air conditioning in the viewing room, he's talking about the tender moment if they were to reunite the sun with Rochelle at the mat and to meet Matt for the first time.
We would be steaming up.
And fainting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Once teams completed the detour, they had to make their way to the U-turn, where no-brainer, Matt and Ashley obviously smacked that onto Jenny and Jelani, and Laura and Tyler also getting in on the U-turn fiasco on Allie and Steve, which for me makes sense strategy-wise. Allie and Steve are a strong team. So, yeah, U-turn them. Jenny and Jelani, yeah, U-turn them. They have an express pass. That's the way for them to get rid of it.
Right.
So, buy express pass.
But the only thing is that Laura and Tyler, you know, Allie and Steve already had a speed bump. So, they were kind of already in last place. And so, I don't know. I was kind of shocked that they did that.
It's like putting salt in the wound. It's like knocking a man down when they're already down.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, you don't really know who's behind you because I don't feel like they really got to see each other as much during these two legs. It was always like, remember when Haley and Blair drove past them and they're like, oh, now we know that Allie and Steve are now behind us. So I think that just goes to show you never really know who's behind you or how close they are unless you see them. And if you haven't seen them at some point, it might be scary if they just creep up behind you.
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
Strategy-wise, good thing Allie and Steve didn't stay in the race because I think that they would have felt the wrath of Allie and Steve.
Yeah.
Laura and Tyler would have been in trouble.
For sure.
So once teams got past the U-turn, they got their clue where they had to travel to the next pit stop, but they had to take one of the exotic animals there. Zebra, camel, donkey, and oryx. I would have immediately gone for a zebra.
Duh.
That's like the obvious choice.
Yeah, you're in Africa, you go for zebras, they're speedy. Camels are slow as molasses.
Yeah, and then I don't know what an oryx is. I don't even want to give it a gamble because it might not cooperate with me. And a donkey, you can see those on a petting farm. Like,
I know. Come on, you're in Africa. Go for the zebra.
Go for the zebra. I mean, Matt did, and...
oh my gosh. I thought this was hilarious.
Mike did. Mike went for
You always know that when you get an animal involved, there's going to be complications.
Always.
And these complications were hilarious. Poor Mike. I mean, he almost got kicked in the ball sack. I said it. Whoops.
We went there. It's getting real in the AfterBuzz TV studio.
Poor guy. That was a close call. But of course, they just switched animals altogether. Like, we're not doing the zebra anymore. We're going right to the donkey. So they switched to the donkey. Tyler named their zebra Laura. Laura the zebra.
Laura the zebra.
And who else? Matt and Ashley chose that, like, what was it? I put antelope. I don't know what the animal was.
The oryx?
Yeah, the oryx. Blair and Haley took the camel. Jelani and Jenny, camel. Come on, camel? Boring. Whatever.
Oh, goodness. Everyone in the live chat, tell us before we wrap today what you would have done. Which animal would you have taken to the pit stop? The teams checking in the pit stop. Finally, in first place, Laura and Tyler. No surprise there after their little bit at the beginning of being like, we haven't gotten first place yet.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
So well-earned, well-deserved to Laura and Tyler. Better late than never. Second place, Matt and Ashley. Third place, Haley and Blair. Fourth place, Jenny and Jelani. Fifth place, the cat with 9 lives this season, Mike and Rochelle. And last but not least, getting eliminated from the race are Allie and Steve. We say goodbye to the Olympians, which was a shock because, like we said, they're a strong team. But we also have pointed out that when you're a strong team, luck comes into play at some point and it can bite you in the butt. Mm-hmm. And in this case, luck was not on their side and the race got them.
You guys, I'm teamless now on our fantasy amazing race. I have no more teams.
How does this work?
I'm so sad. I'm so sad. How did all three clearly I had bad luck this season. Oh my gosh, I want to cry.
I don't think it was bad luck.
I predicted that they were going to win.
I thought Allie and C would have been in the top 3. So I'm a little shocked too. What should we do about Jess, you guys? She's teamless. Should we give her a team?
I could just be a great cheerleader.
Or she could join Team Jess or Team Justin.
Ooh, now I get to pick.
Oh my gosh, we got a tweet from Laura from Team SoCal.
Oh.
She just tweeted us and said, love watching you guys on the Amazing Race
Laura,
after show.
We love you. And you got first place, girlfriend.
Congratulations. Yay. All right, so to update on the points.
Saying, someone said they would want to take a lion. Ooh, a lion.
I don't know about that. You probably want to get to the pit stop if you took a lion.
Camel. Lots of camels.
Do you think camels would have been more easier to operate?
Yeah. Okay, so I think just you and I we're the zebra lovers.
We're the zebra lovers.
Yeah, the zebras kick. That's very true, because zebras kick. That's funny.
Gosh. With the update with the fantasy points, we have Team James 68 points, Justin with both of his teams getting first and second this leg, and now at 55 points.
Whoa.
He's catching up. Jess, unfortunately, with no more teams at 41 points. What should we? I mean, this is the first time ever in our fantasy pool that this has happened. How do we fix this problem?
We need to fix this.
How do we fix it? Should I give a team to you? Do you want a team?
No, I don't want to screw you guys up.
I mean, I have 3 left, and that's I'm shocked. I really thought Mike and Rochelle would have been gone by now. I thought Haley and Blair would have self-destruct. I really thought Jenny and Jaylani are my top.
Let's see what our fans say, and then we'll think about it
and we'll
next
come back
episode,
next week.
and we'll talk with Justin.
I like
Let us know what you guys think. What should we do with me? I'm just like a teamless over here. But let's talk about do we go through the order? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk about the previews for next. Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Real quick shout out to Joseph Boza. It just shows how good James, Jess, and Justin are, having done the show for the past 4 seasons. If they have alumni loving their after show.
Yay!
Thanks, Joseph, for the nice compliment. All right. Next week's episode looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Pretty good, yes.
What do you think's going to happen? We see Matt kind of self-destruct a little bit.
Yep.
We see Haley and Blair going back to their old bickering ways.
And I just have to point out, Haley's helmet was hilarious.
Hot mess.
Hot mess. Hashtag hot mess right there. And then Nat struggling with his kicks. And a hot tub involved. That hot tub looked bomb.com. I want to try it. I want to go on a tour bus, sit chilling in a hot tub. That looked awesome. In a river.
I mean, what, Lauren, Tyler, if you're not together, it's going to blow my mind.
I know.
You've had all these wonderful romantic opportunities on The Amazing Race around the world together.
And they got another date.
And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The hot tub thing, it seems so romantic.
Yeah.
I mean, am I the only one that thinks that? If they're in the friend zone when this is all over, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to talk to you privately, Laura, about why.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, I like Arrowman said, Jess, pick one from the other.
And then Steven Sosa said James should give a team away of his choice if he wants to, which of course I would love to do. Good idea. Wait until Justin comes back to figure it out.
Right.
And then pick one person, not team, from Justin and James. Oh, that's a good one. That way you have a representation of one player. So you have one player for each. So you can still get points for roadblocks and detours and stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. So we'll talk with Justin when he gets back from the Dominican later this week.
Yeah.
And then we'll reconvene next Monday with what the new team arrangements are. And that kind of wraps up our after show.
Yeah. Should we do our predictions?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let's do our predictions really quick.
So I'm going to predict Tyler and Laura are going to get first again.
Okay.
And I think Mike and Rochelle are going to step back up and get second. And then I think going home is going to be Jelani and Jenny.
They're kind of a hot mess.
Yeah.
And so are Haley and Blair. My teams are not looking so hot right now. So I'm going to go ahead and predict that in first place, I'm going to say Tyler and Laura. They seem like a top contender to win the whole season to me.
Yeah.
And then in last place, I really don't want to say Mike and Rochelle. So I'm going to say Jenny and Jelani with you. I'm going to say the same predictions and play it safe this week.
Let us know what you guys think. Who's going home? Who's getting number 1?
Yes. And Jess, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me at DressJessXO, and
you can find me on Twitter at James Wallington, on Instagram at James.Wallington, and then my YouTube channel, Where's Wallington? It's me and all my little travel adventures that I've been having. I just uploaded a video of me in San Francisco, and I have another one coming this week of me at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk in Northern California.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that. Until next week, have a great one, you guys, and we'll see you next Monday.
bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.